On the big story, shaken many times over and still struggling. Some victims of the magnitude 7.8 quake in Mindanao have resorted to begging for food and water just to survive. Rumors of massive gatherings tomorrow, Independence Day, are still rife, but the palace was quick to assure there is no destabilization plot brewing.
They have decided to put Tab Baldwin and Epoch Quimpo on official leave. I don't think that answers the question of millions of Filipinos. A leave, it's on leave. Ang tanong nga ho, nasaan kayo? Nasaan kayo? Magsalita kayo. Bakit on leave? Yan ho, hindi ko lang sariling pananaw yan. I'm just echoing the voices and the questions of millions of Filipinos.
Where is the coach of the Blue Eagles and why is Tab Baldwin awfully silent? Ateneo says it's not his personal decision to keep out of the public eye as a probe into the drowning of two cagers goes deeper. And have you heard of Bike Bus to Work? We tell you about it later. Good evening, I'm Ces Orenia Drilon. We begin with a worsening human crisis in earthquake-hit provinces. Stricken residents have to cope as well with dwindling water and food supply. Even as government aid continues to pour in, relief remains elusive for cut-off residents. Mobile journalist Daniel Dayaw has tonight's big story.
Though General Santos City suffered highly visible structural damage, Sarangani province absorbed some of the most devastating impacts of the June 8 earthquake. The towns of Malapatan and Glan was especially hurt. 4 days after the earthquake, this is now a common sight. Residents begging for water and whatever food passers-by can spare. Road damage, landslides, and the collapse of critical infrastructure have complicated relief operations and left thousands of residents in dire need of life-sustaining supplies. In Malapatan town, rows of empty plastic gallons line roadsides as families wait for water deliveries. The earthquake damaged pipelines and disrupted supply across several areas. Despite Thursday's rain, potable water remains scarce.
Kami ng tulong sa inyo. Wala kaming bigas ngayon. Sana kumalat na yan. Napuputok na kami. Maghingi kami ng tulong, sir. Wala kaming tubig, bigas.
In neighboring Glan, residents have also gathered along highways, holding handwritten placards, appealing for assistance. Landslides have cut off access to several roads in and out of town. The DPWH did manage to clear up most of the damage, with crews working around the clock.
Kahapon nung nagpunta si Pangulo, inutusan niya kami na paspasan po ang pagbubukas ng access sa Glan. And sa tulong ng DPWH, regional, district offices, ng local governments, provincial governments, pati ng private sector, i-report ko ngayong umaga na passable na ang kalye papasok at palabas ng Glan, Sarangani.
However, power outages and dwindling fuel supply have further complicated relief efforts. Fuel reserves have nearly run out in Glan, while prices in neighboring municipalities have become quite expensive. The provincial government is doing what they can with whatever they have left right now. And again, this is just in Glan and Malapatan. There are still towns in Sarangani that remain isolated to this day.
For now, focus kami sa rehabilitation effort. No? In fact, kahit gaano kahirap yung isang town na na-isolate for how many days, talagang gumagawa ng paraan ng provincial government, regional agencies, and national agencies.
So far, that help has only reached the accessible areas. On June 10, government officials led by President Bongbong Marcos visited and distributed aid in such areas in General Santos City and Sarangani. On June 11, several lawmakers managed to reach severely hit areas in both provinces. Senators Win Gatchalian, Erwin Tulfo, Mig Zubiri, and JB Ejercito fulfilled their pledge to donate 1 month's worth salary to the relief efforts. Their pool of 1.5 million from 12 senators from the Gatchalian bloc was divided accordingly. 1 million for Jensen, 500,000 for Sarangani.
Nalulungkot kami no dahil marami kami nakitang mga nasirang gusali katulad ng Notre Dame School at kanina sa Sarangani may mga bridges at roads na nasira, bagong port pa nga nasira. So nakakahinayang pero kailangan tayo bumangon ulit.
The senators assured that more aid will be coming to affected residents. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives will shoulder the medical expenses of those injured from the Mindanao earthquake. Speaker Boji D announced this as he led a House delegation to General Santos City and Sarangani Province to assess the impact of the earthquake. D also assured affected families that additional assistance will be mobilized to help communities recover from the disaster.
Nandito kami para matiyak na katulad ng sabi po namin sa lahat ng mga ospital na kakailangan na related po sa earthquake ay titiyakin natin na zero balance yung ating mga kababayan na nasa loob ng mga ospital.
But as the days pass and with the most necessary necessities still hard to get by, residents can only hope more help is on the way. Kapatid Mobile Journal, Daniel Dayaw, we are One News.
Apart from delayed relief efforts, authorities continue to search for more victims of Monday's earthquake still unaccounted for. Mobile journalist Evan Tarinque joins us again from General Santos City. Evan, ilan pa ba ang hinahanap o pinaniniwalaang naipit sa mga gumuhong gusali?
Ses, dito sa General Santos City, patuloy ang paghahanap sa isang lalaking pinaniniwalaang natabunan ng gumuhong lupa sa loob ng kanyang bahay. Dito nga yan sa may barangay San Jose. Pero kahapon, Ses, nauna nang na-recover yung nahuhuli or natitirang individual na natabunan ng lupa doon sa supermarket. Dito naman yan sa may barangay Kalumpang. So currently, sa mga oras na ito, isa na lang yung missing persons na patuloy na pinaghahanap ng mga otoridad dito sa General Santos. Sets?
Pinaniniwalaan bang buhay pa itong individual na ito?
Ses, patuloy natin kino-confirm dito nga sa Gensan CDRRMO kung patuloy pa rin ba yung rescue and rescue operations nila dito dahil tuloy-tuloy pa rin naman dahil wala pang official confirmation kung retrieval operations na lang ba yung gagawin. Pero so far, Ses, kanina may mga na-recover pa rin na individual. Doon nga naman, ito naman yung individual doon sa isang resort. Dito naman yan sa may Gensan pa rin na inanod ng malalakas na alon matapos nga tumama. Itong magnitude 7.8 na lindol. Pero kahapon, Ses, na-recover naman yung katawan nung kanyang 8-year-old na pinsan. So far sa ngayon, Ses, tuloy-tuloy pa rin naman yung operations ng Research and Rescue Team doon sa mga missing individuals pa sa mga oras ito. Ses?
Evan, kamusta naman ang pag-usad ng paghatid ng relief? Dahil nahihirapan nakakaramdam na ng gutom, lalo na yung mga hindi marating, yung cut off ang access sa kanila.
Ses, so far may mga ilang residente tayong nakita at nakausap na talagang dinadamdam nila yung hirap ng kanilang sitwasyon. Isa nga doon kasi is yung delayed na pagkuha ng kanilang mga relief packets mula nga dyan sa LGU pati na rin doon sa mga ibang nagdo-donate. Pero so far yung ilan na yan nakatanggap naman daw sila ng paunti-unti, pero ang problema nila doon hindi tumatagal siya ng pang isang lingguhan. Usually kasi yung mga inapuntahan nating mga pamilya nasa 5-6 na family members at paghahatian nila yung nasa 2 kilong bigas at 1 galong tubig. So yun yung challenge nila kung paano nila pagkakasyahin itong mga relief goods na meron sila ng ilang araw. Pero ayon naman sa DSWD, naka-ready naman na yung kanilang mga food packs dito nga sa Gensa na i-distribute na lang. Inaantay na lang kasi yung report ng mga social workers nila kung ilang pamilya at sinong-sinong mga pamilya yung makakatanggap ng mga relief packs na ito. Ses?
Evan, kamusta naman ang paghahatid ng mga mambabata sa tulong dyan sa Gensan? Ikwento mo nga sa amin.
Ses, kanina nga dumating nga dito sina Senator Wing Gatchalian, Mig Subiri, Erwin Tulfo, pati na rin si Senator JV Ejercito. Nakipagpulong sila with LGU ng General Santos City. Doon nga nagkaroon ng turnover nitong sako-sakong bigas para nga yan ipamimigay doon sa mga residente na apektado ng nitong 7.8 na magnitude ng lindol. Pero kasama niyan, ibinigay na rin nila kanina cash on hand itong kanilang donation dito nga sa LGU. According kay Senator Min Gatchalian, nasa 1 million pesos yan at galing yan doon sa kanilang salary bilang senador. Pero sabi naman ni Senator Win Gatchalian, umasa raw na hindi sila papabayaan ng Senado at paparating pa raw yung tulong ng Senate dahil ito nga raw parte at isang bahagi na ahensya ng gobyerno. Ses?
Kahapon nasabi mo na marami na ang bumabalik sa kanilang mga tahanan mula sa evacuation center. Unti-unti na bang nababakante ang mga evacuation center dyan?
Tama ka dyan, Ses, no? Pero kanina doon sa napuntahan nating evacuation center sa may barangay Buayan, meron pang nasa 30 families yung nagsistay doon sa evacuation center na yon. Pero itong mga families ito talaga yung mga displaced family, yung tipong wala na talaga silang mauuwian dahil total sira yung kanilang bahay o kaya naman partially damaged yung kanilang mga bahay, no? Dahil usually kasi, Ses, no, even last night malalakas pa rin kasi yung mga aftershocks na nararanasan dito sa General Santos. Kaya yung mga kapatid nating umuwi sa kanilang bahay, pag naranasan at nakaramdam ulit ng paggalaw ng lupa, bumabalik ka agad dito sa mga evacuation center na to. Lalo na kasi yung karamihan sa kanila, may mga dalang mga bata. Ses?
Alright. Maraming salamat. Evan Tarinque there, our mobile journalist reporting from General Santos City. Now, in other news, Malacanang has downplayed reports of an alleged destabilization plot against President Bongbong Marcos. For the palace, the armed forces remains united, professional, and committed to its constitutional mandate. Recall a warning from Senator Panfilo Lacson that there is dissatisfaction among some personnel in the uniformed service. But Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said the AFP has not received any verified information about the alleged discontent. That said, Castro says there is no need for a loyalty check at this point.
Ang sabi po mismo ng pamunuan ng AFP ay wala silang nakukuhang anumang detalye o impormasyon patungkol dito, pero syempre may ugong-ugong at ito naman din ay kanilang binabantayan. But as of now, ang miyembro po ng AFP ay nanatiling active, united at professional. At hindi po kinakailangan, according to AFP, ng loyalty check. Dahil alam po nila ang kanilang mandato para sa bayan at naaayon sa konstitusyon.
Meantime, the Senate website remains under maintenance following an alleged hacking incident. A group calling itself NullSec Philippines claimed responsibility for defacing the site. In a social media post, the group called for greater transparency and accountability in government. The post also read, "We are watching. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us." For its part, the Senate said security measures have been put in place with an investigation underway. It cited initial findings showing no indication of confidential or sensitive data being compromised. Is the Senate under attack and under threat? Let's ask Senator Erwin Tulfo, who joins us via phone now. Welcome back to The Big Story, Senator Tulfo.
Good evening.
You're on air, Senator. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Now, let's zero in on the Senate threat. What do we expect to happen tomorrow? Because speculation is rife that there are going to be actions against the government tomorrow?
Well, actually, me and Acting Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian, together with Senator Mig Subiri and Senator JV, we just flew back from Jensen this afternoon. According to Acting Senate President Gatchalian, nagpa-augment na ng forces like PNP and members of the AFP for tomorrow, the Senate, in and around the Senate, in case there are any unforeseen events set. So, naglagay na ng additional forces. And then, the Senate is in lockdown right now dahil wala namang pasok bukas also. So, walang dahilan para may pumasok ika nga na senador. So naka-lockdown siya.
Pero credible po ba itong mga bantahan na ito?
May narinig namin yan na unang nagbigay sa amin ng intelligence info was the National Bureau of Investigation during our Blue Ribbon hearing. Tapos may ilang mga info pa na tatanggap ang senior members ng majority bloc, sina Senator Win, Senator Mig. They've been receiving information, and also Senator Ping and Tito Sen receiving information nga na may maaring mangyaring gulo, so we have to be prepared. Kaya Senator Gatchalian the other day requested additional forces from the PNP and the Armed Forces of the Philippines.
We appreciate you talking to us kahit nakararating nyo lang from General Santos. Can you give us your assessment of the help that's being received by the quake-hit victims?
Very talagang grabe yung pinsala, says very wide and enormous. As according to Sarangani Governor Pacquiao, to their estimate, initial pa lamang, it's like almost 1 billion in damages, like wharf and bridges and a lot of buildings damaged by the quake. Aside from, of course, houses that were destroyed by the quake. Kaya nga naabutan namin isang evacuation center says kanina. The barangay chairman was telling us where we were expecting na punong-puno yung evacuation center, but the chairman explained na during daytime they go back to their homes, and then nighttime that's where they sleep in the evacuation centers kasi nga may mga aftershocks pa.
Pero marami pa pong nangangailangan ng tulong at nagrereklamong nagkukulang ng kanilang supply ng pagkain at tubig. Did you see that there?
No, actually may mga nakita tayo when we arrived at Sarangani. Bigyan nila kami na around 2,000 bags of 5 kilos each to be distributed. We turn it over, coming from a private entity that was given to the Senate for distribution, and then another 1,000 sacks of rice also from the Senate. Plus, there will be additional coming from our funds, from the Senate funds, to purchase more food for both provinces, the Sarangani and Jensen.
Do you see the need for a special session to address, what has happened there in Mindanao?
Hindi naman, Ses. I don't think so. According to Senate Pro Tempore Gatchalian, we don't need that. Yung special session siguro, depende when if we get the numbers next week. Pero for special session, to call a special session to fix this problem dito sa nangyari earthquake, I don't think so. I think we have sufficient funds naman, the DSWD and the DPWH. We are confident, kasi nga kami nila, Senwin ang naglagay ng budget yan. I believe DSWD has enough funds pa to help our kababayan in those areas.
Senator, kung bantay sarado ang Senado, hindi naman napigilan yung pag-deface ng Senate website.
I know. Okay. We were informed we're on our way na to Jensen. So when we landed, there were already texts from Senate staff, especially to Senator Win, na ayun nga na-hack yung website namin, the Senate. So immediately, binabayon and under maintenance right now. I believe the DICT is also helping at this very moment. We got the message actually, Tess. We got the message, whoever that is, na accountability. That's what we're doing actually. Na, kaya nga, and it's just unfortunate na hindi talaga makapag-umpisa the Blue Ribbon Committee kasi we haven't organized yet, Tess. To be able to organize it, yung Blue Ribbon, kailangan mo na idaan sa plenary, to elect the chairman, vice chairman, and then its members. Hindi naman basta-basta na maghihiring ka na lang without completely bringing it to the floor. So our plan, para wala ng gulo, lahat na lang ng members ng Senate, majority, minority, will be members of the Blue Ribbon para everybody can join.
So the whole Senate.
Exactly, Seth. Exactly. Actually, the members lang supposed to be like around 17, including the ex-officios, the Senate President, minority leader. Well, dahil 17 na lang, that's just 5 more. That's just 22 of us. So, might as well ask everybody to join, including the minority. So, everybody na wala na exemption. They can come, join here, ask questions. They can also vote. So that's our plan na buuin itong Blue Ribbon. Everybody's invited, everybody's member.
You don't then have to hold a plenary session to hold a hearing, in other words?
We still do, Seth. Pero what I'm saying is like yung pagbuo nito, we still have to go to the plenary. Pero it's like a formality now kasi everybody's a member na. So, bagaman lahat kailangan pa rin dumaan sa plenary kasi nga yun ang sa rules like mga committee chairmanship, it has to be announced on the floor who will be the chairman, who's the vice chairman, and the members.
Okay.
But dito sa Blue Ribbon, everybody is a member na. So yun ang gagawin natin.
Okay. So now let's move on to the impeachment trial. Is it correct that Senator Chis Escudero may be the presiding officer and not the Senate pro tempore or acting President Win Gatchalian?
We're still talking about that, and I believe sometime next week the Senate majority will be meeting to talk about it, to discuss who will be the trial manager. That's what we call it here. Trial manager, if it will be another person, if it will be a Senate pro tempore Win Gatchalian. So pag-uusapan pa yan, Ses, then decision as a whole by the majority kung si Senator Chis nga magiging trial manager.
But is it correct to assume, Senator, na kapag nakakuha na kayo ng additional 1 or 2 senators, then a special session can be called by Malacanang to formalize?
Definitely. Yes, so that we can elect a Senate President. 1 or 2, the 2 would be better. So, but for now, medyo we're still waiting. Medyo hindi pa malinaw. But hopefully, first, before the trial begins in July, we'll be able to get kahit 1 lang para we'll have a Senate President na. And we're taking the word of former Senate President Cayetano na sabi niya pag naka-13 then bababa siya. So we're just waiting for 1, and then we're taking his word na he will step down once we get the 13.
All right. Bukas po, ano bang balak ninyo sa Independence Day, Senator?
Well, rest lang muna siguro, Seth. And then ako personally will have to go through yung I have already received yung mga documents, mga pieces of evidence, documentations from the House Prosecution Panel. Lahat kami binigyan ng mga judges. So I just look over it hanggang saan ko pwedeng basahin. Para kasing parang tig-2 o 3 boxes kami ng mga papeles. So
okay,
I just
so mag-aaral muna kayo.
Tomorrow, so this will be the time to study while we're on break.
That makes me heave a sigh of relief because ibig sabihin wala kaming dapat katakutan bukas na may mangyayaring D-stab.
Well, actually, I mean, sabi ni Senator Sherwin, he already asked the police assistance, so we're expecting there will be more police officers on the ground tomorrow outside the Senate or on the Senate kasi sarado naman yung mga gates, and then the Senate itself, and then additional members probably from the Armed Forces of the Philippines just in case. We heard that, yung mga destabilization na yan, parang yan yung rallying point nila. So we'll wait and see. Pero wala namang pasok. I don't know kung itutuloy nila. I hope not. Yes. We already have a lot of problems. Sunod-sunod na political problem. We have, and then meron pa tayong itong nangyayari sa Mindanao na those people there need our help here in Manila, the legislative, the executive. So sana nga, pakiusap ko na lang siguro doon sa mga kasamahan ko sa other side, sa minority. Please help us out, come to work, and then we really appreciate it, your presence there, so that we can just work together. Kahit na minsan lang, maayos lang natin itong problema, matulungan lang natin mga taga Mindanao. Kawawa naman.
Thank you for talking to us, Senator Erwin Tulfo. You are watching the big story on One News. When we return, will we finally hear more from Ateneo about the tragedy that hit its basketball team?
Mukhang lumalabas naman na sanction talaga ng school. This is an official program of the varsity team. Kaya na very critical dito ang participation at involvement ng eskwelahan at ng of course ng coaching staff.
They have decided to put Tab Baldwin and Epoch Quimpo on official leave. I don't think that answers the question of millions of Filipinos. A leave, it's on leave. Ang tanong nga ho, nasaan kayo? Nasaan kayo? Magsalita kayo. Bakit on leave? Yan ho, hindi ko lang sariling pananaw yan. I'm just echoing the voices and the questions of millions of Filipinos.
Patrick Gregorio there, chairman of the Philippine Sports Commission. He shares the sentiment of many, all waiting to hear at length from Ateneo about how two young basketball players died just like that. Now, the NBI has officially formed a task force to investigate the deaths of two university cagers while training in Aurora. And amid heavy criticism, the Ateneo de Manila University vows cooperation with the probe even as it keeps Coach Tab Baldwin out of the public eye. News 5's Gio Robles with a report.
On Thursday, June 11, the local government of Dipaculao, Aurora, conducted an inspection at the resort where student athletes Rene Baterbonia and Divine Adili drowned. An immediate observation, there was no warning signages anywhere in the facility. That's despite the place being known for rip currents, breaking waves that move very quickly and known as deadly hazards among beachgoers.
Diyan po kasi sa parteng Lipit at Lubot ay may mga rip current, yung mga awiwit na tinatawag. Yung biglang lalalim po yung tapos tatangayin ka sa sa malalim. And then ibabalik ka din lang. Ganun yung rip current. Biglang yun. Wala kang maapakang buhangin.
According to Tourism Officer Leticia Combis, Ateneo men's basketball head coach Tab Baldwin and the rest of the Blue Eagles coaching staff were warned about the danger of currents. Still, the resort owners who voluntarily visited the NBI to provide more information wishes to dispel supposedly false information about the incident.
They've been booking I think for the past 3 years na. They've been doing this activity there. There have been other incidents, it would have been reported earlier, di ba? So this is really unfortunate and it's the first time that this happened.
Basketball coach Yang Giao says training for cagers really include aqua or water activities. These are meant to strengthen and condition other muscles that are inactive during the game. There's a catch though.
We conduct aqua training in a controlled environment, never po sa dagat, at ginagawa po yan sa swimming pool. Should be well supervised, kumikidlat at saka kumukulog. Should get out of the swimming pool. I don't know if any other team that does yung aqua training in the open sea. No? If you're doing water training, it should be in a controlled environment. It should not be in the open sea.
For attorney Alberto Agra, former General Counsel of the Philippine Olympic Committee, Ateneo de Manila University has a lot to answer for. But who's liable for such incidents where there could be negligence?
Merong regulation about professional athletes, meron tayong batas about student athletes, pero wala tayong batas tungkol sa coaches. Wala ring right now sistema ng pagpaparehistro at pagpapacertify ng coaches. Kaya baka yan yung mga puwang na dapat tugunan ng ating Kongreso at ng ating mga administrative agencies. Mukhang lumalabas naman na sanction talaga ng school. This is an official program of the varsity team. Kaya na very critical dito ang participation at involvement ng eskwelahan at ng, of course, ng coaching staff.
At the moment, the National Bureau of Investigation has Task Force Baterbonia and Adili now probing the tragedy. The team wants to look beyond the findings of the Aurora PNP that there was no foul play and no one was really to blame for what happened to the young players. The NBI can initially think of one charge, but this has to be proven violation of Article 365 of the Revised Penal Code, or reckless or simple imprudence that resulted from an accident born of dereliction. In a statement on Thursday, Ateneo de Manila University said Baldwin and Blue Eagles team manager Christopher Epo Quimpo have gone on leave. The move is meant to preserve the integrity and fairness of the ongoing investigation. Ateneo likewise clarified that Baldwin's silence on the tragedy is not a personal decision, but a request by the university to establish facts and allow official processes to proceed before there is public discussion on the matter. Kapatid, Gio Robles, we are One News.
In an article for Minda News, former Ateneo Dean and human rights lawyer and climate activist Tony Lavinia shared his thoughts on the tragedy in Aurora. And we have him with us tonight. Welcome to the big story, Attorney Lavinia.
Hello, good evening, Seth. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for saying yes. Panaghoy Amping Puhon is a title of your article. And here you say that Ateneo has chosen an approach of damage control rather than highlighting living up to the values that it teaches.
Yeah, it looks like that's what they're doing. I do not know for sure, since I'm not in the the room that makes these decisions. But the kind of statements we have been getting from Ateneo drip by drip since Monday or Tuesday, Monday night, I think, or Tuesday morning when the statements came out, do not seem to be, written to address the issues straightforward, and even in the way that they seem to have treated the parents of Rene, the boy from Aguzan, does not look like reflecting the values of what we call Magis and Cura Personalis. So I think, and that's not just me, Seth. I mean, that's fair. I think it's fair to say that, many of us in the Ateneo community feel the same way. In fact, my colleagues, many faculty colleagues, also wrote an open letter today, demanding for more transparency, quick decisions, the same things I talk about in my article.
Your article is piercing. It must have been a painful one for you to write because the university president was your classmate, apparently.
Yeah. I did not sleep, and I don't do that anymore. I'm a climate negotiator, and I used to not sleep But now that I'm a senior citizen, I don't lose sleep anymore. I actually sleep every night. But last night, I didn't sleep because I thought it was important to write it as carefully as I can without judgment, but also to help our community to move forward and the country. To be honest, as I'm on one hand, I'm surprised that in social media discourse and even in the main media discourse, this is the number one news. And the Senate squabble, the impeachment trial, and even the big earthquake in Mindanao has been, set aside with this. Because this has really hit the nerve with Filipinos, because this is also not just about a boy dying, but it's a boy from Agusan, from a poor family, and in front of a university that's quite has a lot of resources, and still we can't get it right. So I thought it was very important to point that out. There's nothing personal about this. I love Father Bobby. Father Bobby, like me, came to Ateneo when we were 16, 17 years old, 18 years old. 50 years ago, we were classmates in Ateneo. We were also dorm mates. He's also from the province. He's from Cebu. He was president of Cebu University, so he understands this. And it's very important to put it out there, right? So, but I can understand also that they might have been really traumatized when this happened. In the statement today, they call it the darkest day. A very dark day. It is a very dark day. But when it's a very dark day, you need to put light. Leaders need to shine the light for the community to be able to move forward. And that, I think, is what we're asking from the leadership of Ateneo de Manila.
Wala pa pong humaharap ni isa sa kanila sa publiko. Is this not important para sa inyo?
Kasi di ba, right now, sino yung mukha ng trahedyang ito, di ba? The mother is the mother of Rene, no? Bobet, as we call him in Davao. Siya yung nasa harap, di ba? And okay naman yon, but kailangan may kaharap din siya na mag-uusap sa kanya, di ba? How bad was that the press conference yesterday, na yung mother is the one that's trying to explain what happened, di ba? Na, sabi niya, hindi ko naman alam ano nangyari, di ba? And then, of course, pasok pa yung mga abogado na parang hindi naman pala authorized, di ba? Na tigil muna kasi may sasabihin ka sa nanay, di ba? So, couldn't Ateneo have arranged na lang sana, di ba? And then there's a spokesman from Ateneo. We need faces.
Yes.
Actually, Ateneo now, the Board of Trustees says they will have a fact-finding process, di ba?
Yes.
Sana alam natin sino chair ng process na yan. And can he come out now in the open and tell us what exactly he will do? Sir, I've done a lot of fact-finding because I've been a government official, I have been an international lawyer, I have, I've done all of these investigations, and this doesn't take rocket science, investigation na ito, di ba? There's a very finite number of people that needs to be interviewed, the players, the coaching staff, the resort people, past players to determine behavior, di ba? And some administrative officials of Ateneo who signed off on whatever this team building was, no? Clear yun na hindi yan siya rocket science to do.
So, ano po sa tingin ninyo ang nangyayari? Natatakot ba sila na mademanda? You have some suggestions in your article. You said they should already even willingly give the families of Rene and Divine, money.
Yeah.
Unang dapat na in-offer na nilang tulong nila.
Well, apparently ginagawa naman natin nila ngayon yung in terms of bringing the family here, bringing the family home, the funeral expenses. So importante yan that has to be done, di ba? Pero we certainly do not want this to be a case, di ba? Na in terms of a civil case, di ba? For ano. So kailangan siguro na, di ba? Alam mo kasi kung maging kaso siya, it will take 20 years. People, I was asked earlier yung recent case dun sa Davao, di ba? In terms of Davao case siya na na sunog na estudyante. It took 20 years bago nasabi ko yung pamilya ng namatay na bata, di ba? Dahil hindi nila sa school, the school was negligent in supervising an activity. Wag tayo magano'n.
No, I mentioned the financial help, attorney, because sabi nyo nga, it will take long for these cases, for them not to wait for a court ruling to offer it. But on the other hand, also, I wanted to cite na parang Ateneo is coming out very cold and very cold in its statements. Walang humanity na nakikita tayo.
Yeah, yes. Kasi walang face behind it. Walang face behind it. I don't think it will have necessarily to be the president, diba? But maybe maganda sana if the president appoints a face that will be. So ito, may opportunity sila to do this right kasi it took them 3 days but finally they have sabi na may fact-finding. So dapat may chair naman siguro kung sana committee, di ba? Hindi lang isang tao, di ba? Hindi lang mga mababang tao. Kailangan medyo, maybe even an external person that they can bring in from outside, di ba? To investigate for them. Then magkakaroon na ng face, di ba? Yung Ateneo response, di ba? Na holistic. So that's what we're waiting for. Sana, di ba? Hindi lang yung statement na mag-fact-finding kami. Paano nyo ba gawin? Sino ang gagawa? At pwede ba namin makausap siya para alam namin anong plano niya? Because as I keep on saying, this is not rocket science, di ba? This is not rocket science.
Tony, also
what happened.
This statement that saying that it was the administration that asked Coach to take a leave and it wasn't a personal decision, that explaining his silence. How do you react to this one?
Well, I'm sure. Una, di ba, parang there's something problematic there in the sense that if Coach Tab wanted to speak out, they should allow him to speak out. Kasi then magkakaroon ng face, di ba? And we can make our judgment. But parang siyang cover up. I don't think that that's an intent. I think they just want parang everything has to come out muna lahat, di ba? I mean, I don't know. Baka kung sino nag-advise sa kanila, di ba? Kasi hindi ko na, back to fact-finding ito, back to what are the facts, di ba? Hindi ko alam what did actually Coach Tab tell the players, di ba? Ano bang concept ng team building na ito? Kasi dyan papasok yung mga legal issues di ba? Na was this an initiation na required yung mga bata to go through to stay in the team? Di ba? Sometimes the way it's described, para siyang initiation, para siyang hazing, di ba? It's exactly what hazing is when you break a person's spirit, di ba? So that the way it's been described is you break a person's spirit so that person becomes part of
right,
of a team, di ba? Of a brotherhood of men, di ba? That is exactly what hazing is. Yan ang ginagawa sa PMA, sa PNPA, sa mga fraternities, di ba? You break a person's ego, di ba? To become part of a band of brothers, di ba? And so kailangan tingnan yan, di ba? Kailangan tingnan yan. Siyempre kailangan tingnan yung may negligence pa dito, di ba? So madali lang yan in-establish. May lifesavers ba yung mga tao, di ba? May mga ano ba sila? May mga lifeguards ba? Di ba?
So Tony,
were there people familiar with the beach there?
So Tony, from your article, I'm sure many in Ateneo have read it, Have they reached out to you to help them, to give advice, to guide them?
Well, hindi naman ako yung ano, I mean, the article was written so matulungan yung buong community. No? It's been well received. I mean, daming Jesuits, among others, di ba, that have really welcomed that. Maraming Jesuits sa Mindanao, which is very important for me. I also wrote that from a perspective of being a Mindanaoan, no? So, ano naman, it's well received naman, and it's written with love, no? As I said, I love that school. I love this school. It's a school I chose, di ba? 50 years ago. And it's something I cherish, and I don't want it destroyed, certainly, di ba? It's a very dark day. But I say that again, when there's darkness, leaders have the responsibility to shine the light so we can move forward.
I hope they will heed your call. Thank you for sharing your insights with us, lawyer and professor attorney Tony Lavinia. Ateneo Blue Eagles head coach Tab Baldwin joined members of the basketball and Ateneo community in a tribute to student athletes Rene Clert Baterbonia and Divine Adili this afternoon. It was his first public sighting since the tragedy. And joining us now is News 5's Mon Gualvez. Mon, first tell us about the activity participated in by controversial coach Tab Baldwin.
Well, actually, it says this is the first na public appearance ni Ateneo head coach Tab Baldwin dito sa ginawang candle lighting vigil ng Ateneo community. So, ito ay pamamaraan nila para nga gunitain yung alaala ng dalawang nasawing Ateneo students who happen to be Rene Baterbonia and Divine Adili. So, hindi lang si Coach Tab ang sumama dito sa vigil activity na ito, kundi pati na rin ang buong team, mga players and other members of Ateneo Blue Eagles. But you can see with the face of Coach Tab Baldwin of his sadness, no? Bagamat hindi siya nagbigay ulit ng pahayag sa media, pero banaag yung kanyang kalungkutan dito sa incidenting ito. At yun nga, even the other team members and players are with him in this kind of activity with the candle lighting and of course offering prayers to the souls or for the souls ng mga namayapa, says.
Mon, huling gabi na ng burol para kay Rene Baterbonia. Ano ang plano matapos ng gabing ito?
Yes, ngayong gabi ang last na pwedeng dalawin si Rene Baterbonia dito nga sa isang punerarya sa Quezon City. Later at 4:30 in the morning, ibabiyahe na siya via private plane papunta sa Davao together with his family. And the private plane was, kumbaga sinagot ito ng Ateneo de Manila University. 3 days, magtatagal si Rene sa Davao kung saan siya nag-aral ng high school bago siya dalhin naman sa kanilang hometown sa Agusan del Sur. Etong unang gabi niya sa Davao, tomorrow, idadaos yung misa or siya ay lalagak muna pansamantala sa Ateneo de Davao mismo na nirequest din talaga ng naturang school para makiramay ang kanyang mga kaibigan, mga guro, and other na nakakakilala kay Rene. Says.
Mon, sino ba ang mga dumalong mga opisyal dyan sa burol?
Marami-rami, says. No? Actually, mula madaling araw kanina hanggang ngayong gabi, iba't ibang mga personalidad ang mga nagsidalaw. Initially, isa-isahin natin, madaling araw kanina si Senator Robin Padilla, he insisted that he already filed a resolution sa Senado para nga maimbestigahan itong naturang insidente, kung nagkaroon nga ba talaga ng mga kapabayaan or foul play, at ano ba dapat gawin in aid of legislation para nga ma-improve pa yung mga batas tungkol dito. And then afterwards, iba't ibang mga players, no, mga professional basketball players, mga former teammates ni Rene at saka ni Divine Adili sa Ateneo, and then yung iba naman ay mga UAAP players, and then hanggang ngayong gabi, no, meron ding dumalo ng mga celebrities like Claudine Barreto just to show sympathy sa nanay ng biktima. And then may dagdag ko lang, no, si Senator Bam Aquino, who is known to be an Atenista, talagang dumalo din at pumunta para nga makiramay dito sa insidente. At yun nga, may mga dito yung sa side ni Rene, no? Meron din naman mapupunta on the side of Divine Adili. Bagamat wala naman talagang burol dahil nga nasa morgue pa yung katawan ni Divine, nagpunta yung ilang mga Nigerian national basketball players who are playing, former players of Ateneo and some who are playing in other basketball teams. Nagpakita sila or nagsabi sila rather ng kanilang mga pananaw, no? Kasi yung isa dyan, si Ike, naglaro before sa Ateneo and he confirmed that nakaranas siya ng ganitong klaseng training. May panawagan nga rin siya kay Coach Tab Baldwin. Pakinggan natin yung mga pahayag na yan.
It's just training that helps us boost with condition and stamina, whatever we want to do to build the team together. I know he's going through a rough time right now, but I would love him to speak up and let people know what happened. I mean, this will give a lot of people closure.
If Live Vest was there, I think it would have been a different result. You know, so hopefully they would take the safety measures and precautions more serious next time. Like I don't have problem with the training, but I mean the safety of the players should also be prioritized.
Mon, panghuli na lamang, tikom pa rin ba ang mga teammates ni Rene, tikom pa rin ang bibig ng mga teammates ni Rene at ni Divine tungkol sa insidente? Pinagbawal ba na kausapin ng mga miyembro ng media?
Nung pumunta sila dito sa funeraria kagabi, talagang tikom ang kanilang bibig. Hindi sila makausap, talagang total silence yung pagpasok nila sa mismong chapel kung saan nakaburol si Rene. And then, we don't have an idea if this is an instruction of the Ateneo de Manila University. But one thing is for sure, ang sinabi ng university, ang kanilang pinakiusapan na huwag magsalita muna sa public is Coach Tab Baldwin himself. Not to at least influence yung ginagawang investigation and to put some pressure at saka para mapanatili daw yung integrity ng ginagawang investigasyon. Pero ito yung nagiging concern ngayon ng lawyers ng Baterbonia family who happens to be Attorney Relito Torion. And he said na kumbaga, it gives them concern, no? That's the exact word. Yung hindi pagpayag or parang pagsabi na huwag magsalita sa public si Coach Tab Baldwin. Ang kanilang kinababahala, baka nga pati nga raw mga players hindi na rin magsalita tungkol sa insidente. Bagay na malaking tulong sana sa ginagawang investigasyon. Pero ito rin yung pinaka gustong makita ng lawyers and the family na sana kahit hindi magsalita sa public, makipagtulungan naman daw sana sa ginagawang investigasyon. Iba't ibang parallel investigations kasi ngayon, Ses, ang ikinasa patungkol sa pagkamatay ng dalawang basketballista.
We thank you for your update. News 5, Mon Gualvez. You are still watching The Big Story, and next, we tell you why former Ilocos Sur Governor Chavit Singson was arrested recently. Stay tuned to One News. Welcome back to The Big Story. Former Ilocos Sur Governor Chavit Singson has been arrested in connection with a cyber libel case. The 84-year-old was served at his residence in Barangay Ugong Norte, Quezon City. The PNP said the warrant was issued by the Regional Trial Court of Vigan City for an alleged violation of the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. The warrant was dated June 10, 2026, but it was not clear who filed the case or where it stemmed from. Singson was released from police custody after posting bail of 60,000 pesos. And could biking to work help make the daily commute easier? A new initiative in Quezon City is hoping to do just that. Here's a story from our desk person, Paul Adrian Samarita, himself a biking enthusiast.
It is no secret that Metro Manila is the city where traffic is as constant as the stars in the sky. where cars rule our roads, and current policies favor those who seem to afford four-wheeled vehicles. But with the Carmageddon becoming part of our daily lives, step back. On Thursday morning, June 11, around 80 bike commuters participated on the launch of a workers' bike bus program in Quezon City. Under a bike bus, cyclists and bike commuters ride the roads as one group and on a relatively stable speed, often to a destination like a mall or an office building. When cyclists form a bike bus, motorists can easily spot them, making the ride much more pleasant. Perfect for those who want to cycle at the metro for the first time. Climate Action Group 350 Pilipinas says bike buses can promote cycling in the metro as alternative means of going from point A to point B.
Nagpo-promote po ang 350 Pilipinas ng isang immediate at saka po low cost at abot kaya na transport solution po sa kalagitnaan po ng transport crisis. Kabilang po dito ang bike commuting.
Organized with the help of the Quezon City government and the MMDA, the group says they hope more LGUs will participate in active transport programs such as this.
Inimbitahan po natin yung mga workers po mula sa Quezon City na patungo po sa kanilang mga lugar na pagawaan, sa kanilang mga trabaho po sa may Pasig City. Nag-imbita po tayo sa maraming mga sa general public at inimbitahan din po natin ang lokal na pamahalaan po ng Quezon City na mag-participate po dito.
Many bike commuters are fond with this initiative, as this will also promote good health and good well-being to people who are still weary on trying to bike commute.
This is a very good initiative, not only, parang diversity in numbers, it also helps us connect with each other in a community. Kasi diba kung tayo lang mag-isa, mag-drive, solo ka lang, ikaw kotse mo, radyo mo. Pero at least kung may grupo tayo, makikipag-ugnayan sa isa't isa, at least may komunidad tayo dito sa pagpunta sa trabaho, ayun. Actually, medyo 2-in-1 siya eh. Parang makapunta sa destination nyo, hindi ka pa maiinip. Pagkatapos may bonus, may ensayo ka. Kasi, cardio, yun na nga, sa pagbike. Ayun. So, yung mga nag-gym, parang okay, magka-cardio ako, 2-in-1 na papuntang trabaho, yun na ko, gym ko.
The group is hoping that by this initiative, many workers and companies will now consider welfare and programs for those who want to bike to work.
Gusto nating i-highlight na yung mga manggagawa, kapag sila ay bumabiyahe sa pang-araw-araw, tumatawid sila dun sa mga cities. Kaya importante na holistic yung pag-i-implement ng mga policies at ng infrastructure natin para sa mga siklista.
Amid the hustle and bustle of urban life, transportation is now a source of stress instead of solace. Should we go back to basics? After all, most of us have been doing it for years. Ride a bike, because pedaling can be safe, healthy, pleasant, and even fun. Kapatid, Paul Samarita, We Are One News.
Now that's what bike bus means. Now we know. And Paul, kudos, we need more stories like that. Those are the big stories this Thursday, June 11. I'm Ces Orenia Drilon. Kapatid, We Are One News.